Heretics, it's been a while. This is for Alphanod's, not Alphanod, Alphano. It's pronounced Alphano, I guess. I don't play his game. I don't play 14. But I remember saying Alphanod in front of a 14 fan, and they were like, oh my god, oh Jesus, how could you possibly, like they were just so smug about it. They fucking put a D at the end of his name. What the hell was I supposed to think? Well, the D is silent, then don't fucking put it in there. It confuses people. Anyway, we have an HP sap orb. Yay! Because so many characters do that. Barely anyone does it. In fact, you need to put your Exdeath friend up as your friend support if you have the burst. If you have the Exdeath burst, unlike me, because I don't have it, but if anybody out there has the Exdeath burst and he is not your friend support, you are a dick. And you need to think about other people. Fucking put Exdeath up as your friend support for this event. Because I'm telling you, barely anybody satisfies this orb at all. Alphano does, if you pull his LD, but most people are skipping, I think. I know I sure did. I think even as the call ability, he can satisfy the orb. Don't quote me on that, I don't know for sure, but I'm almost positive he can. But for those of us who don't have that, set Exdeath as your friend, or an Alphano friend, whatever. That works fine too. Just one of those two characters, and we'll be good. We'll be gravy. Just do that. Because it's literally Exdeath, Ida, and Alphano. That's who does HP sap. Nobody else that I'm aware of. I don't think any other characters do. So, don't hold out on us. I don't have any of those characters built, which is my own damn fault. But, okay, that's not true. I have Exdeath built, I just never got his burst. You may be wondering why I brought a Chocobo summon, and why I didn't target the one with Brave. This is why. This is very calculated, because Garnet's buff is going to go off, get that break, bam, build the summon just a little bit more, and then Selphie's going to launch, and then we'll be ready. And then Selphie is leaving, and Exdeath is coming in, so that we can satisfy this orb. Because this is the only way I could figure out I cannot speak. This was the only way I could figure out how to do 0 turns, was like this. And those little details mattered, because now we can go onto the summon, and we have 3 turns to spare before we're dead. But Garnet, I love you, but you need to slow down. What the hell is that with the turn order? Stop that. No. And since you can't even activate Exdeath burst effect in the summon, we had to just use one of his other skills while we're in here, and then let these guys take a turn so that they can get HP sapped, and then we won't die. That way, we'll up the orb just a little bit, and then when it's Exdeath's turn again, but before it is, we can reapply Warp Step, thank you Noctis, so that Exdeath will not take a turn while he uses the burst. So that way we can just keep it going. But this fight surprised me, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read any of the mechanics. I kind of just went in and figured it out. So out of nowhere, they started doing some shit where I'm like, wait, what? Why are you guys doing all this? You'll see it in a second. If you've done this fight already, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you'll see what I mean. I'm pretty sure all I did with Noctis in this whole fight was spam LDs. Just to keep Warp Step on. Because I kept running into situations where Garnet would run out of it, and then she'd take a turn, which is not what we want. I don't think I used that other Reigns call either. This is a little upsetting though, because yes, we do get a launch, but the only one in the succession is Selphie. Stuff like that happens a few other times too, but it's okay. Alright. Speaking of Selphie, you have done your part, and since your debuff is completely broken ever since your C90 rework, you're still going to be putting in work even though you're gone. That right there, I got a tweet and I couldn't get rid of it. I just blocked it out with a little black square, whatever. Okay. Exdeath has applied his debuffs. So now they do this. I did not expect him to miss, but that's cool. I don't think he would have broken Exdeath anyway, because Exdeath neuters their attacks, which is great. We can also take some more advantage of Garnet's goodness with this off-turn stuff, the more they go. Alright. Now, we can finally get this up. This might be the longest I've gone in a LUFENIA plus fight without activating this. But we had no choice. We wanted 0. We had to just get in that summon, get Exdeath in, because this orb only starts at 6, which is really low. Okay, this might be because of this red aura, maybe not. No, I don't know. Okay, I don't know why they do what they're about to do, but you will see it shortly. Maybe it's the 50% threshold. Someone's gonna tell me. Other people know. First person to tell me wins nothing in the comments, but I'd still like to know why they do this. If it's automatic threshold thing or what. I think it is, but I'm not 100%. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm getting ahead of myself because I haven't even done it yet. That's right. Into the void! I always have this thought in my head of all the Final Fantasy villains just kind of chilling, and all of them getting sick to death of Exdeath. Like Sephiroth and Kuja talking to each other like, oh shit, here he comes. The fucking tree guy. I bet you anything he's gonna say void, guaranteed. How many times do you think he'll say it? I'll bet you 1,000 gil he says it 4 times in this conversation. He's constantly talking about the void when nobody fucking asked. That's how I think that the rest of the villains view Exdeath. I would not be surprised at all. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Why are they getting turns right now? What? Didn't think that was gonna happen. But you know what? It worked out in our favor anyway. Because they are not very threatening to us. Exdeath is neutering them. Garnet is keeping us nice and healthy with all the Braves, so it's not like we're gonna get broken anyway. And we have more arc explosions because of this. So really, we can just kind of stall. Might as well just apply this other Kurasame call, finally. Get some ice enchant with some damage up. Oh hey, speaking of ice enchant and damage up, the snow burst is coming. I am not bringing up that conversation. Nope, nope, nope. Do not give a shit. I do not really want to get into that right now. I know a lot of people are talking about it. I could fucking care less, to be honest with you. Pull whatever you want to pull. Who cares? Okay, fine. I will say this. I don't think it's wise to judge the merits of the character by one BT phase damage showcase. That is probably not the best way to judge what a character can do. So in that sense, yeah, maybe there's some overhyping going on. But to the other side of this, I heard a lot of the same stuff about Machina. Like, hey, you really got to build around him for him to be good. You're going to need all this ridiculous Brave gain up, otherwise he's not going to do that much damage. And that just didn't live up to be true. Like, it just straight up didn't. A lot of my Machina teams didn't really have Brave gain up at all. I would run Machina, Cloud of Darkness, and Caesar. And it still worked out fine. Machina was still slaying. So, I guess all this to say, just because you aren't making the quote-unquote absolute most out of, say, a burst effect or whatever one aspect of your team that you want to stress, doesn't necessarily mean that a character is going to be bad or overhyped or whatever. Because you're building a whole team. There's other strengths in the team as opposed to just let's strengthen this one thing. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts on it. And to be fair, I'm not seeing a lot of the overhyping because apparently most of that is on Reddit. And I avoid Reddit like the plague. Like, no thanks. I will never go to default Reddit. Like, seriously, I would rather eat a bowl of cereal filled with broken glass than go to default Reddit. Like, no fucking thank you. It just sounds cancerous. Sorry for that image, not really. But I will say, if people are out here thinking that Snow is going to be like the next Garnet, you've got another thing coming, because no one is replacing this queen. She's the best. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I swear I didn't even want to talk about this, and I've been talking about it for half of the video, but I guess that's fine. My Snow plans, I want the LD because I missed it the first time around, mainly for the auto farming. And if I get the burst along the way, maybe I'll green it and try them out, and make my own decision at that point. That's kind of what I think everyone should do. No, I'm not saying everyone should green Snow. I'm saying you should figure out how you play and how you team build and what works for you, instead of just listening to what other people say. Whether they be Redditors, or JP content creators, or me, for that matter. Do it yourself. That's my advice. I should have said this in the very beginning, but special shout out to Sky Splits, because this is their Exdeath, and you should check out that channel. If you like Queen, check out that channel, because there's a lot of Queen runs on Sky Splits channel. You know what? I will link it in the description for anybody who wants to check it out. It's pretty good stuff. But alright, the Stone Chimeras have been sent to the Void, and the fight is done. This was kind of a tricky 0 turns, but it worked out. Who do you guys run though? Thank you for watching.